Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty video, and today I'm going to be remastering my entire zombie storyline all the way from World at War and leading on to Black Ops 3. So I started this series back when my channel had started, but back then my videos were just of terrible quality. The video was very laggy, my voice was very retarded. So I am going to be restarting this series from fresh. We're going to be doing the entire zombie storyline all the way from Nacra and Toten to Origins, from World at War to Black Ops 2, and then when Black Ops 3 launches, we will obviously be continuing this series. Now, I'm going to be trying to keep this storyline as simple as possible and as easy to understand for you. So there will be a lot which I will miss out because either they're just completely nonsense, they're unnecessary, or they just don't play a big role to the storyline, or they're just hearsay. But if you do notice anything that I do miss out which you want to know on a bit more in depth, I could make a separate video about that, maybe an in-depth storyline or a theory video or something like that. But this entire storyline is pretty much all going to be based around the facts that we have gotten so far regarding the zombie storyline, and it's going to be less focused on theories. It's going to be more focused around the facts, because I know a lot of people have done these storyline videos and they've included a lot of theories, but I'm going to be trying to keep this as factual as possible. For example, there is the 4-hour entire zombie storyline video up on YouTube. It's a great video, but a lot of it is all just based around theories and stuff which has not been confirmed. So anyways, let's jump into this storyline. So this is continuing from Origins, because Origins is technically the first map in terms of the timeline. It was the first map set before all of the maps in World at War. However, when we actually cover Origins in this entire zombie storyline video, we're going to be covering as the last episode, because obviously then it leads on to Black Ops 3 zombie storyline with Shadows of Evil and the Giant. So I know that may seem very weird, because Origins is going to be the last episode in this series before Black Ops 3 launches, but this first episode is going to be continuing from Okay, so now that I've gotten that all out of the way, let's jump into the actual storyline. As I said, bear in mind, we will be covering Origins in the last episode, but it's set before this. So, 21 years later after Origins, the world will once again be threatened by a second world war after Germany's Chancellor and Supreme Director Adolf Hitler rose to power. Dr. Maxis now returned to a younger and suitable human body, reunited with Group 935 as an international German-led research team, and emerged as its head scientist. Rather than their previous goal, Maxis sought to use Element 115 to improve the human condition by developing advanced technologies, and enlisted Dr. Richtofen as his senior assistant rather than equal partner. Much to his chagrin, however, the group's goal immediately deteriorated due to a lack of funding, and Maxis regretfully turned to making a contract with the Nazi Wunderwaffe program to use 115 as a power source for deadly new weaponry to help the Axis powers win the war. Maxis hoped that after the war, the generous funds and Germany's ultimate victory would put Group 935 in a much better position to help the world. Using a large supply of Element 115 found in meteors, Maxis began a series of tests experimenting with 115 being used to power devices capable of teleportation. They were called MDTs at the Der Ries facility in Lower Silesia. While the majority of the tests failed, Richtofen and another 935 scientist, Dr. Schuster, conducted a successful test on their own by teleporting a walnut using a small amount of Element 115. Though Edward assumed it was a sign of progress, Maxis criticized the scientists for failing to work on their assigned experiments, which led Richtofen into thinking that Maxis planned to betray the scientists and claim their work as his own. Despite Maxis' displeasure, Richtofen and Schuster continued their work, their research with the MDT device, and after a month of tests, Richtofen agreed to be teleported himself. But rather than appearing at the test site's mainframe, he arrived within a catacomb on the moon, where a large triangular device known as the MPD was located. After touching the device, Richtofen began hearing a series of voices in his head, unknowingly gaining schizophrenia from the pyramid before being teleported away from the strange device. Arriving in an exotic shrine in the Himalayan jungles known as Shangri-La, Richtofen remained there for 3 weeks and learned of a mysterious energy force known as the Vril. Richtofen returned to the Duries facility with full knowledge of the MPD and the Vril. And Schuster and the other Group 935 scientists spent 2 years building a top-secret moon base, Griffin Station, to study the device, which he now knew to be a dimensional gateway to the ether. Placing Schuster and his superior, Dr. Groff, in charge of the facility, Richtofen continued his charade as Maxis' senior assistant, whom he planned to eventually kill and enter the ether using the MPD to take control of its energy. As Groff and Schuster toiled with the device, Maxis and Richtofen began a project to create wonder weapons for the Nazi party. Richtofen used the element to create the Wunderwaffe DG2, a weapon so deadly even Maxis himself felt uneasy about its mass production. Nonetheless, he promised Richtofen it would be produced, but his growing attraction with his secretary Sophia prevented him from doing so. While other weapons were being produced from several Group 935 facilities, such as the Quantum Entanglement device made by Richtofen or the second generation ray gun created by Dr. Porter, Maxis focused his attention on the matter transference devices, hoping to manufacture them to Wehrmacht, granting German forces easy travel in the war. The initial tests failed, with test subjects either being killed or exposed to element 115, resulting in their deceased cells being reanimated and becoming unresponsive zombies. However, the first successful test would be conducted after a dog had been sent through the device and failed to return to the mainframe. While Maxis believed the MDT device experiments to be failures, the Reichstag saw the creation of the zombies as another advantage in the war, forcing Maxis to control the zombies. So that's where we're going to end in this first episode. As I said, I'm going to be trying to keep this as simple as possible. For example, when I was just talking about the test on Samantha's dog, that was what actually created the original Hellhounds. However, I didn't really go in depth on that. So that's going to conclude this episode, as I said, and as I said at the beginning, I am trying to keep this as simple as possible and easy to understand as possible. So that's why I'm not going very in depth in terms of the storyline, and why I haven't gone that much in depth on Der Riese. I've only briefly covered it in a simplistic format and haven't really gone in depth about the creation of the Hellhounds and stuff like that. However, in the next episode we're going to be going a bit more in depth, and it should start to pick up pace in terms of this storyline. So anyways, if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like down in the comment section down below. If you've got any suggestions on how I can improve this series in the next episode, also leave them down in the comment section down below. So without further ado, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're around here for the latest and greatest advanced warfare and blockchain news and content. Anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.